Hello and good morning from the Wildcat Sanctuary. I see a black cat and an orange pumpkin. 'Tis the season, spooky season, as it were, as the kids say. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. You're tuned in to the one and only Wildcat Sanctuary. That is the one and only Rescue Black Leopard Shadow, taking on some pumpkin enrichment, and not just a regular old pumpkin. That is it's a jack-o'-lantern. It's a pumpkin that got carved, and, well, there's some ground meat in there for you, Shadow. So a little bit of scent enrichment, food enrichment, and all-around fun for this special Rescue Black Leopard. So howdy, howdy, howdy. Tammy Rayburn's here. Hey, Tammy. Thank you for your comment. I'm sure we'll get more commenters filing in here. Hey, Kendra Ditto. Good afternoon. Get the pumpkin, Shadow. Get it, says Kendra. She's kind of blotting out the pumpkin. It's on the other side of her. I think she's lapping up some food that fell out of that pumpkin. Hey, Maria Stahl. Good morning. Marilyn Grant is here. Hey, Marilyn. Krista Christensen. Howdy, howdy. And Shadow's looking regal as usual. And Shadow being one of our oldest rescued residents here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. It's always worth pointing that out, because we will probably see Shadow momentarily maybe bunny kick and paw at the pumpkin, and she really lets us know that she's still got a lot of youth left in her, and we love to see that, Miss Shadow. Lots of pep in your step, even in your golden years. Hey, Rebecca Hatfield, good afternoon to you. Cheryl Harden saying good morning to Shadow and myself. Thank you, Cheryl. Norma Johnson saying, that cat is gorgeous. Ho, we got some other cats stealing the show over here, quite literally, if my phone would let me zoom out, but it's not. That is Simon in the back, Jeremy, who is up front. Simon and Jeremy both receive pumpkins as well. As a matter of fact, all the rescues here in the Rural Ridge section of the sanctuary receive pumpkins. So as internet willing, I'd like to kind of circumnavigate the entire Rural Ridge area to check in on all of the rescues with their pumpkins. A little bit different of a pace for Simon. He's, maybe being rightfully possessive over his pumpkin there. Very typical of big cats. And I always like seeing kind of those exhibitions of strength from our rescued residents. There's no doubt that we love our cats, and I think we find ourselves in situations where Mr. Jeremy and Simon, we love taking those reminders that you are a big bad tiger and looking at the scars and how you kind of turn on your big cat like this and your inner predator. It's a great reminder, big guy. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit here. There we go. Now my thumbs are working. Hey, Marilyn Grant, Cheryl Harden. Oh, I already said hi to you, Cheryl. But hello again. Lisa Johnson coming in with 200 stars. Try to get a better angle of Simon, and he's off with the big cat zoomies. Up to no good. Truthfully, kind of in typical form for Jeremy and Simon, he fades into the back, and that gives brother Jeremy, who's the less dominant of the two, and Jeremy says, I like that. I like my brother taking the lead, but giving his brother Jeremy a little go at the enrichment. So very kind of typical flow for these two brothers, and I'm sure you guys kind of see this unfold a lot on live posts as well. Kathy Barton checking in, saying hi to everyone. Hey, Kathy. Hope all is well down in Florida. Wee, says Tammy Rayburn. That's the sound that all cats make when they get the zoomies, and we just know it. That's a fact. That's a scientific fact, Jeremy. This is always fun. I do catch the cats doing this. Is caretakers will put scents on whatever enrichment, but when they're locking up, lo and behold, they get a little scent on that door handle. So that's what just caught Jeremy there, is him smelling kind of the human scent and kind of the leftover perfume that ended up on the door handle. Hey, thank you for the chops, mister. Thank you for the chops. What's What's Majestic Miss Shadow doing behind me? She's still getting into her pumpkin? I'm really glad that the internet's holding everyone, knock on wood, but I know at least I've been kind of seeing a lot of folks missing out on Jeremy and Simon, and I don't blame you because the darn internet is so fickle over here, and I'm really, really happy that we're getting some quality time in with these two white tiger brothers. Hey, pretty lady. Hey, pretty lady. Look at that jack-o'-lantern. That jack-o'-lantern, She says, oh, I'll make quick work of this thing. Fun to see the pumpkins kind of being used in all different ways. Some of the larger ones, obviously the kind of carving sizes. Thank you for those 200 stars, by the way, Torben. Actually being able to be carved and with the ability to kind of place some things inside of the cavity of the pumpkin. Shadow, in this case, had some meat placed in it. She's got to go in and have a little potty time. Jeremy and Simon, they just got the regular old pumpkins, Rio? Yep.
With some stuffed ground meat.
With some stuffed ground meat as well. And I think right next door to Miss Shadow, we know Miss Tao the Bobcat, living in the big cat world here in Roar Ridge. She got a pumpkin with some special meat enrichment inside of it as well. So, Miss Shadow, as you strut your stuff, maybe we'll go check in on Pretty Tao the Bobcat.
She's having fun with her pumpkin.
Okay, Rio says she's having fun. Awesome, awesome. And Rio, it never, ever, ever goes without saying thanks for kicking butt for the cats. I appreciate it. Don't appreciate when the internet says trying to reconnect. Oh, Tao, you took your pumpkin. You're gonna make it hard for the paparazzi to see you. So see how long I can hang out with service willing here. But hey, everyone, we've moved over to Tao's habitat. Tao and her pumpkin started kind of right about where my shadow is. But Tao has now dragged her pumpkin into this thicket. And Tao, I gotta admit, you're a bobcat, and it was almost like a tiger or cougar sized pumpkin. So good for you all the way back there. Looks like Olivia may have an angle on her.
Right in there. There's a good spot.
But sorry if the service is being a little sporadic on it. But we will try our best to get a glimpse of Tao. There she is. Kind of in her own little... So bittersweet that this isn't working because I absolutely love this shot here. But hey, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Enrichment time for some of the rescued residents here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. We're here in the Roar Ridge area. We've seen Simon. We've seen Jeremy. And if you can make out, that is rescued Bobcat Tao, who has dragged her enrichment pumpkin deep, deep into the foliage of her free-roaming habitat. And it looks like the service is going to hold out for a little fun here. Tammy Rayburn saying, we can see her. Good to hear, Tammy. Hey, Lay, thanks for joining us. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Faith saying hi to Tao in her little fall wonderland. Ashley Wevote, or Ashley W, I should say. I always stumble over your name, Ashley. Talking about sushi, and as a matter of fact, we just had an e-newsletter go out today with featuring a fun little video of sushi. And if you're not subscribed to our e-newsletter, well, first of all, I recommend that you do subscribe. But that video is just linking to our YouTube channel at watchwildcats.com. So the most recent upload is actually a nice little kind of 7-minute video of Sushi puzzling over one of her fountains. So I highly, highly recommend checking that out. Hey, Pat Kushner, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us and saying hi to all the cats featured on this post, and especially Miss Tao, who's in her little hidden fall wonderland with her pumpkin. Hey, Tanya Toner, glad to have you with us.
I am going to be letting Mindy have access to Sam and Ziva while I clean, so please just be aware of your noise level around Bungalow 1 still. Thank you.
So, this is exciting, and we're working on documentation, but that was caretaker Elise. Elise, who has been one of the dedicated caregivers for the ALC rescues, the 9 Asian leopard cats that are now calling the Wildcat Sanctuary their forever home, with Sam and Ziva, as well as Eve and Mindy, if I'm not mistaken, are all out in Bungalow 1. And Elise gave access to the 2 seniors. That would be Sam and Ziva yesterday, and they both did good and kind of gaining their bearings. And now to see if Mindy and Eve are willing to join those 2 in that bungalow. So far from anything set in stone in terms of, if all 4 of those ALCs will remain together. But cool that we get to hear a little snippet of that over the radio, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting some documenting in on that. And what did I tell you? Tao's in a fall wonderland here, and I'm kind of zoomed all the way out, and I'll zoom all the way back in, and we'll probably circle back over, check in on Shadow, Black Leopard Shadow, as well as Jeremy and Simon to see if they're getting after their pumpkins as well. But Bobcat Tao, rescued Bobcat Tao, having an absolute blast with hers, and it looks like she's going to maybe burn a few extra cows before she comes back to consume some more extra cows. Her pumpkin's stuffed with some ground meat, which, truth to tell, is one of Tao's favorites. Okay, I'm going to run back over here because better service. Well, howdy doody. What do we think, Miss Shadow? He says, you've got me all sorts of which way here. You trying to cover up your pumpkin? Cheryl Harden saying the colors are spooktacular. I couldn't agree more, especially as I'm looking at a black cat, an orange pumpkin, and a bunch of yellow and red leaves. It is kind of the fall ambiance in the highest order here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Yeah, what are you doing, goofball? You're doing a little landscaping? Tao wants to have her cake and eat it too. She's got all the enrichment, but of course she's got her own agenda of wanting to rip up some grass. To each their own, Tao. Hey, handsome dude. Hey, handsome dude. Yeah, thank you. I can tell someone's been having fun with their pumpkin. Jeremy of Simon and Jeremy, 2 white tiger brothers here. Yeah, thank you for the chops, handsome dude. And I do see, that's kind of what the boys are looking at right now. I do see that Rio and her team are still in Thor Jr.'s yard, getting his enrichment place, as well as doing some cleaning. I see them dragging out some old cardboard enrichment. So I'm not sure if we will make it for Mr. Thor Jr., but I'm going to try to draw this out, internet permitting. So let's keep on hanging out, folks. Hey, Angela R., glad to have you with us. Let's see who else is here. See, Leslie Donnelly is watching. That's Elisa's mother. So, hi, Leslie. Thanks for joining us. And a major round of applause for Elise being one of the major pieces of glue that holds the Wildcat Sanctuary together. Maria Stahl pointing out how funny Shadow is, and I couldn't agree more. Shadow, and I say goofball Shadow. All right, we're going to maybe try to do a little bit of a circle here. I do see Olivia checking out Brianna and Ramsey, or Rihanna. Maybe that could be those two. I'm across the road too. I see her and Gino are hanging out. I think we are going to have ourselves a nice little sanctuary. Meeting. Bummer, bummer, bummer. You know, I'm getting a little nervous, everyone, as a matter of fact, with the amount of dropping that I'm getting. Ooh, so I might be backpedaling a bit. I'm going to head back this way. I think I might take a page out of Olivia's book and go and see what Ramsey and Brianna are up to, and perhaps I can find a little bit better service on Cougar Cove, and I could give them a little bit more time in Thor Jr.'s yard if we do make it over there. Alrighty. Gorgeous skies, right, Kendra Ditto? Kind of times are changing on Facebook, and when I have the phone in a different orientation, well, darn it, I can't see the comments. So vertical has been kind of the latest course, and definitely kind of reveals the sky in a different way, which is pretty cool. And there goes Ramsey. Typical moment for me on these live posts is I can see the probably the indent of grass that's still warm where Ramsey was basking, and here's old Jabberjaw Judson coming over, and onward and forward. He keeps moving. Better internet droppings than bird droppings. Right about that, Marcy. Hinyata asking, can we see the fall colors in the memorial garden? Let's see. Definitely a little bit more subtle than you would think. A lot of the plants too have kind of been put to bed for the year. One of our dedicated garden volunteers was out. I know that on today's e-newsletter, we shared one of the drone photos, one of the fall drone photos. Really beautiful and scenic morning Donoma. It's kind of fog or mist. And, you know, really starting to get that golden sunshine here, and made for some beautiful photography of a beautiful sanctuary made up of beautiful rescues supported by beautiful people, Mr. Donoma. Yeah. It's Cougar Donoma. And I think we can see all three cougars here. So Donoma right down in the bottom of our frame. If you look about halfway up on the left side of the frame, you'll see a kind of cougar belly or cougar back shining in the sun, and then back on the perch system is the third and final member of the Five Wild group. And with the typical head bob up from Donoma when he hears a passing UTV, for it eventually to be placed back down and him to continue with his cat nap. Just look, I mean, well, I can't see it as well now that you just moved your leg there, but the base of his tail is, man, is about as thick as my forearm. And obviously there's a lot of fur there too, but just how muscular that cougar tail is something I think I underestimate. And it was really cool to look at that, Mr. Donoma. Tanya, that's always a good question, asking how I can tell these cats apart in particular. This is the Five Wild group, so Donoma, Langley, and Noah. And, you know, the biggest thing that I'll look for, first off, is who's the largest. And once I see who's the largest, that's going to be Donoma. You know, if they're separated, then I'll look at their eye shape. I think that the eye shape of each three of these cats is pretty distinct. I maybe wouldn't be able to go into detail without being able to kind of show you each one and give you examples, but I'll look at their eye shape. And then another one you always hear me talk about is that beautiful little colic that Langley has. And Langley's the only female cougar between these two boys, and she also is smaller in stature. So that also helps too. I'll look for the largest, I'll look for the smallest, and then I'll start kind of my process of elimination from there. Hey, handsome dude. Off you go. We'll get a shot of Mr. Noah, who's getting a little vitamin D on his platform. Hey, Denise Donovan. Glad to have you with us. I gotta circle back through some comments here. And then here would be the one and only Precious Langley. Is choosing still to catch some sun, but you can see her doing a little chatting there too. Still catching some vitamin D, but she says, I'm going to do it down low in the grass. Are you chatting at me? Yeah, we see you chatting, Langley. You are so funny. So funny. Alrighty. I'm going to glance over. And I've kind of been keeping my ear to the radio, and I think we might miss out on some of those other yards in Roar Ridge, which is fine. I think I'm running out of time, as well as me just being a little concerned about the internet that direction. But I am glad that I will say, I think we got some solid Jeremy and Simon time in, which is something I think we'd been missing out on. I'm going to do one more zoom in on Langley to see if she's still chatting, and I think we're going to go around the corner to check in on Beauty, Lynx Beauty. I want to make sure I hit a few things, in particular that were mentioned on our e-newsletter today, like giving you a personal thank you for a rescue trailer that you all helped us purchase. You might remember way back when we were talking about, basically we're coming off the Ukraine Pride rescue, where at the time the Wildcat Sanctuary, and we still are, getting lots of calls for future international rescues. And one of those, in one of those situations, that might require the Wildcat Sanctuary driving right on the tarmac and having an airline crate forklift right into our trailer. Well, up until 3 days ago, we did not possess a trailer with that ability. We only had a trailer with a ramp, which would not allow a forklift or airline crates to be loaded into any of our rescue trailers. Well, not anymore. If you would have saw the e-newsletter this morning, I'm sure we'll be posting something on social media. I think Donoma heard you chattering, Miss Langley. I think he heard you chattering of this awesome rescue trailer that we were able to customize. It is a custom rescue trailer. And just that word custom evokes a large cost, and it was a large cost and something that you guys helped us knock out. So here's my thanks, and really looking forward to not only sharing just the photos themselves, but also seeing that thing in action in the future. What do we have here? Pretty cougars. Oh. Donoma, just let her groom you. Yeah. You know you like it. She loves you so, mister. That's so sweet. Yeah. They are one of the it couples here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, Langley and Donoma. You can't deny it. How sweet. Off they go to their mound. One of my favorite hangout spots for our rescues. Love, love, love the mounds. Little subtle addition that they can lay on top, they can lay to the side. Oftentimes kind of the foliage will grow pretty densely on the side of it and makes for great hiding spots. Oh, brother Langley. From the top to the bottom, from the highest mountain to the lowest valley, Langley is going to make sure that Donoma knows that he loves her. She loves him, rather. Very sweet to see, everyone. I think that's a rather hallmark ending to today's live post. And as I always say, You know, just another great example of what your support, the support that you offer to our rescues here every day, what it makes possible. So under a big, beautiful blue sky, I want to thank everyone for joining us live today. A few hiccups in the beginning, but through and through, I think it was a really fun post. So a little pumpkin enrichment for the cats over in Roar Ridge, and a little bit of a slower pace and more, maybe a more loving and endearing pace over here in Cougar Cove with some of our rescued cougars, in particular, the Licking Langley and Donoma up there. So, hey everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, hump day, halfway through the week. Looking forward to seeing you back here on a live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. See you, everyone.